wanted to ask you, is Rugby League doing enough as a sport to tackle racism?
I think we're really proud of like how it's gone. Like they really are trying the best, and you know, they can't force people to listen to the message and take it on. That they can only do so much. And I think they're being really proactive with it, like carrying the 13-second Black Lives Matter support into 2021. I think that itself is a really great gesture, because they could have just left it in 2020, just done it all of 2020. They didn't have to bring it into this season, and they did. They made a choice. And even though they've had backlash from fans, which I don't think they're really fans if they're going to say that, but just people just being negative on social media, they've continued it. They've held their own and things like that. And I think that it's really important, because there's so much stuff that goes on in rugby league, like the ugly side with discrimination, racism, sexism, things like that. It's important to have this message, and it's important to feel supported when you're playing, you know, being a woman and then on top of it being a Black woman. Like the odds are stacked against you a bit, and you know, it's easy for people to hand out slurs when you do something they don't really like and things like that. So I think for me it's more of a safety blanket, whereas like I know the RFL have got my back no matter what, and when something goes wrong, I'm not feeling alone, where I've got no one to turn to, I've got no support. That they are very supportive in that way.
Just wondering whether you experienced any abuse or racism or anything like that in the sport while you've been playing rugby league.
Oh, definitely. I mean, it's just when I've spoken to like other Black players, I've like, oh, what do you think about like what's happened and stuff? And it's kind of been like, oh, it's like part and parcel of the sport. You can't get away from ignorant people and things like that. So it's not where you're thinking, oh God, I don't want to go to play because I'm just going to get abused. You have to ignore it. And sometimes if you stood on the wing, sometimes it does, like it's hard to get away from supporters because you're the closest person, you can hear it the loudest. So sometimes things have been said that aren't very nice, and I've gone home and I've told my mum like, oh, like someone said this to me on the sideline today, like someone shouted this to me, and my mum's like, she's so protective of me, and she's just like, it's ridiculous. She gets really mad about it, but I'm like, when you give them that reaction, that just gives them more ammunition to do it more, because they know they're getting under your skin. So really you just have to smile and just let it go over your head and things like that. But I think maybe 1% out of all fans, 1%, and it's always that 1% that try to ruin it for everyone.
It's sad, isn't it? That it's still,
yeah, definitely. It's sad to think that maybe like girls younger than me, that's what's to come. That's what's sad about it. That there's going to be girls younger than me, and there's nothing really you can do to stop it. It's just it's one of those sad situations.